The early rays of the morning sun streamed through the bedroom window, casting a warm glow on Amanda's face as she lay next to Andrew, her husband of 10 years. Their peaceful breathing synchronized, creating a comforting rhythm that echoed the deep connection they shared. As Amanda opened her eyes, she couldn't help but marvel at the life they had built together. The room, adorned with family photos and children's drawings, told the story of a decade filled with love, laughter, and shared dreams. The bedside clock, ticking softly, marked the passage of time spent navigating the ups and downs of marriage. The aroma of coffee wafted from the kitchen, where Andrew, a diligent husband and father, was already preparing breakfast for their 2 children. The sound of little footsteps echoed down the hallway, signaling the beginning of another day in their blessed family life. In the kitchen, Amanda joined Andrew, a smile playing on her lips. "Good morning, my love," she greeted him, wrapping her arms around his waist. Their embrace spoke volumes, conveying a familiarity that only years of companionship could cultivate. "Good morning, beautiful," Andrew replied, stealing a quick kiss. "Did you sleep well?" Amanda nodded, gratitude shining in her eyes. "I always do when I'm with you." Their children, a boy aged 8 and a girl aged 9, bounded into the kitchen, their enthusiasm injecting an extra dose of joy into the morning routine. As the family sat down for breakfast, laughter and chatter filled the air, setting the tone for a day that promised more shared moments and cherished memories. Later, in the quiet moments before bed, Amanda reflected on the day with Andrew. "We're so lucky, aren't we?" she mused, gazing into his eyes. Andrew smiled, his love for her evident. "Every day with you is a blessing, Amanda. Here's to many more." Little did they know, the storm of a life-altering affair was silently brewing on the horizon, threatening the very foundations of the blessed beginning they held so dear. Soccer practice for their daughter became a routine for Amanda and Andrew, a time to cheer on the sidelines and revel in the camaraderie of other parents. One fateful afternoon, amidst the shouts and laughter, Amanda noticed a new face, Scott. His daughter, a lively 6-year-old, energetically chased the ball on the field. Amanda couldn't help but feel a sense of familiarity as she exchanged glances with Scott. In the midst of the group, he approached her, a warm smile on his face. "Hi, I'm Scott," he said, extending a hand. Amanda reciprocated the gesture, her friendly nature kicking in. "Nice to meet you, Scott. I'm Amanda, and this is Andrew, my husband." As the conversation unfolded, Scott's attention seemed to linger a bit too long, his eyes expressing a sentiment beyond the casual introductions. Amanda, though flattered, felt a subtle discomfort, a flicker of awareness that this encounter might not be as innocent as it seemed. Days passed, and Scott's presence at soccer practice became a regular occurrence. The group of parents expanded, but Scott's attention remained focused on Amanda. Their interactions evolved from group conversations to private exchanges on the sidelines. One day, as they watched their daughter's practice, Scott's tone shifted. "Amanda," he began, hesitating for a moment, "there's something I need to tell you. I can't help how I feel when I'm around you." Amanda, caught off guard, furrowed her brows. "Scott, we're both happily married. This isn't the right path." Undeterred, Scott persisted, "I can't deny my feelings, Amanda. There's a connection between us, and I can't ignore it." Unease settled in Amanda's stomach. "Scott, I appreciate your honesty, but I love my husband. We should keep our interactions friendly and within the group." As she walked away from the conversation, Amanda couldn't shake the disconcerting feeling that an unexpected storm was brewing on the horizon, threatening to disrupt the blessed harmony of her seemingly idyllic life. The echoes of Scott's confession lingered in Amanda's mind as she grappled with the unexpected turn their interactions had taken. The discomfort grew, yet a tiny spark of curiosity flickered within her, an ember of forbidden intrigue that refused to be extinguished. One afternoon, after soccer practice, Scott approached Amanda with a hesitant smile. "Amanda, I know you said we should keep things friendly, but I can't help thinking about you. Can we grab a coffee? Just as friends, I promise." Amanda hesitated, torn between the boundaries of her commitment to Andrew and the allure of the forbidden. "I don't know, Scott. This feels wrong." He leaned in, his voice a persuasive whisper. "It's just coffee, Amanda. No harm in that." Against her better judgment, Amanda agreed, rationalizing it as harmless. As they sat in a quaint coffee shop in the neighboring town, the air was charged with unspoken tension. "I appreciate your company, Amanda. You're a fascinating person," Scott remarked, his eyes betraying a desire that went beyond mere friendship. Amanda, uneasy, responded, "Scott, we need to be careful. I love my husband, and I won't jeopardize what we have." His smile was a mixture of charm and persistence. "I'm not asking you to, Amanda. I just enjoy talking to you." The conversation flowed, dancing around the edges of the forbidden. Amanda felt a mixture of guilt and excitement, a cocktail of emotions that intensified as Scott walked her back to her car. As they parted ways, Scott's parting words hung in the air like a haunting melody. "Amanda, this was nice. Let's do it again sometime." Driving home, Amanda couldn't shake the guilt that clung to her like an unwelcome shadow. She knew deep down that this seemingly innocent coffee meeting had opened a door to a realm of consequences she couldn't yet fathom. A door that once opened might prove challenging to close. The ember of forbidden intrigue glowed a little brighter, casting a subtle glow on the path that stretched ahead, shrouded in uncertainty. The taste of forbidden coffee lingered on Amanda's lips, and with it came an overwhelming tide of guilt. Her encounters with Scott had transformed from casual conversations to secret rendezvous at his house. The shadows of deception loomed large, casting a growing darkness over the once bright tapestry of her marriage. One evening, Amanda sat alone in her car outside Scott's house, the weight of her choices heavy on her shoulders. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the inevitable confrontation with the reality of her actions. As she entered Scott's home, the air seemed to thicken with the tension of unspoken desires. Scott, ever the pursuer, greeted her with a seductive smile. "Amanda, I'm glad you came." Amanda, her voice strained, responded, "Scott, we need to talk. This what we're doing. It's not right. I can't continue down this path." Scott, undeterred, approached her. "Amanda, you can't deny what's between us. It's special. Don't let guilt overshadow what we share." The room seemed to close in around her as Amanda grappled with the conflicting emotions tearing at her heart. She knew she had strayed into dangerous territory, but the intoxicating allure of the forbidden held her captive. As their forbidden tryst continued, Amanda found herself looking at pictures of Scott's wife and child, hidden away in corners of the house. The guilt intensified and shadows of remorse danced on the periphery of her conscience. One evening, as they lay entangled in the aftermath of their secret rendezvous, Amanda's gaze lingered on those family photos. The weight of her actions bore down on her, and tears welled in her eyes. "Scott, this is wrong. I can't keep doing this." Scott, seemingly unfazed, tried to pull her back into his embrace. "Amanda, we can't deny what we have. Don't let guilt ruin it." But guilt had already become an unwelcome companion, casting its long shadow over the life Amanda had once known. She knew the time had come to confront the truth, to either extricate herself from the clutches of this affair or risk losing everything she held dear. Haunted by the shadows of guilt, Amanda found herself at a crossroads. The weight of her affair with Scott bore down on her, and she decided it was time to end the clandestine relationship. The atmosphere crackled with tension as she approached Scott's house for what she hoped would be their final meeting. Entering his home, Amanda steeled herself for the conversation ahead. "Scott, we need to talk," she said, her voice trembling. Scott, sensing the shift in dynamics, looked at her with a mix of curiosity and concern. "What's on your mind, Amanda?" Taking a deep breath, Amanda began. "This has to end, Scott. What we're doing is tearing me apart. I can't continue down this destructive path." Scott, a hint of desperation in his eyes, pleaded, "Amanda, don't do this. We can figure this out. We have something special." Amanda, resolute yet torn, replied, "No, Scott. It's not special. It's a betrayal of everything I hold dear. I love my husband, and I won't let this destroy us." The room seemed to constrict around them as the weight of Amanda's decision settled in. Scott, realizing the gravity of the situation, sat in silence for a moment. Then he spoke, his tone tinged with a mix of frustration and resignation. "Amanda, you can't deny the connection we share. Ending this won't make those feelings disappear." Amanda, her resolve wavering, looked away. "I have to try for the sake of my family." In the days that followed, Amanda avoided Scott at soccer practice, attempting to rebuild the boundaries that had crumbled in the face of temptation. However, the pull of their connection proved stronger than her attempts at restraint. One evening, Scott intercepted her, a pleading look in his eyes. "Amanda, please reconsider. We can find a way to make this work. Don't let guilt dictate your choices." Amanda, torn between the stability of her marriage and the allure of forbidden desires, hesitated. "Scott, it's over. We can't continue down this destructive path." Their failed breakup hung in the air, a palpable tension that threatened to shatter the delicate balance Amanda had attempted to restore. Little did she know, the storm that brewed within the confines of her conscience would soon spill over into the reality of her marriage. The fragile calm that Amanda attempted to restore shattered when fate, in the form of her husband Andrew, unexpectedly intervened. The storm that had been silently brewing in the background descended upon Amanda's seemingly idyllic life, leaving chaos in its wake. One evening, after a particularly tense soccer practice, Andrew confronted Amanda as they stood in their living room. The air crackled with unspoken tension as Amanda could see the storm clouds gathering in Andrew's eyes. His voice, a mixture of hurt and anger, broke the uneasy silence. "Amanda, we need to talk. Something doesn't feel right." Fear clenched at Amanda's heart as she stammered, "Andrew, what do you mean?" He handed her a note, his expression a blend of disappointment and disbelief. "This was slipped under our door. It's an invitation to meet someone named Scott at our home tomorrow." Amanda's heart sank as she tried to conjure an explanation. "Andrew, I can explain. It's not what you think." His eyes, once filled with trust, now bore into her soul. "Explain? What could possibly justify this, Amanda? Who is Scott?" As she struggled to find the right words, the doorbell rang, signaling the impending storm. Andrew's gaze never left Amanda's face as he opened the door to find Scott standing on the threshold. Scott, feigning innocence, smiled nervously. "Andrew, we need to talk. Can I come in?" The tension in the room escalated as Andrew, his voice laced with controlled anger, responded, "Talk? Amanda, care to explain why this man is showing up at our home?" Amanda, trapped in the eye of the storm, stammered, "Andrew, it's not what you think. Scott and I." But before she could finish, the situation escalated. Andrew's controlled anger erupted into a physical confrontation as he and Scott clashed in a struggle for dominance. Amanda, caught in the crossfire of emotions, screamed, "Stop. Both of you, Stop. The chaos unfolded, leaving a trail of shattered trust and broken illusions. Little did Amanda know, this confrontation would be the catalyst for the storm that would redefine the course of her life, leaving her to navigate the wreckage of her once blessed marriage. The aftermath of the tumultuous confrontation between Andrew and Scott sent shockwaves through Amanda's life, thrusting her into an unwanted spotlight that threatened to expose the secrets she had desperately tried to conceal. The next morning, Amanda reluctantly stepped outside her front door, only to be met with furtive glances and hushed whispers from her neighbors. The news of the explosive encounter had spread like wildfire, casting a shadow over the once quiet street. As Amanda walked to her car, she overheard snippets of conversations from the neighbors who had gathered in small clusters. Their speculation and judgmental whispers pierced through her, creating an invisible barrier between her and the community she had been a part of for years. One neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, approached Amanda with a forced smile that did little to mask the curiosity in her eyes. "Amanda, dear, what happened yesterday? We heard quite a commotion." Amanda, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment, replied, "It's a misunderstanding, Mrs. Johnson. Just a personal matter that got out of hand." Mrs. Johnson's raised eyebrow betrayed her skepticism. "Personal matter, you say? Well, the whole street is talking. You might want to set things straight before the rumors get wilder." As Amanda drove away, the weight of the unwanted spotlight pressed down on her. The local paper had picked up the story, albeit without revealing names, describing a domestic disturbance that had occurred in the neighborhood. At soccer practice that afternoon, the other parents eyed Amanda with a mix of pity and judgment. As she tried to focus on the game, snippets of conversations floated around her. "I heard it was a lover's spat." "Did you see the police? It must have been serious." Amanda, feeling the weight of the unwanted attention, whispered a silent prayer that her children remained blissfully unaware of the turmoil that had engulfed their home. In the midst of the gossip, Andrew approached Amanda, his expression a blend of frustration and disappointment. "Amanda, we need to talk. This can't go on like this." She nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I know, Andrew. Let's find a way to handle this and protect the kids from all of this mess." As they walked away from the soccer field, the unwanted spotlight intensified, casting a harsh glow on the cracks in Amanda's seemingly perfect life. Little did she know that the hardest part of the journey was yet to come, and the community's judgment was just a precursor to the challenges that lay ahead. The unwanted spotlight that had befallen Amanda took a darker turn as the legal repercussions of the tumultuous confrontation between Andrew, Amanda, and Scott unfolded. The once quiet suburban life now echoed with a harsh thud of legal documents and the distant hum of impending courtroom battles. Amanda received a summons, signaling the commencement of legal proceedings initiated by Scott. The charge, assault, and an alleged violation of his rights during the confrontation at her home. The weight of the situation intensified as Amanda realized the gravity of the legal fallout that awaited her. Andrew, struggling to comprehend the turn of events, confronted Amanda with a mix of frustration and concern. "Amanda, how did we end up here? We need to figure this out before it gets worse." Amanda, her eyes filled with a mix of regret and fear, replied, "I never wanted any of this, Andrew. It's spiraling out of control." As they navigated the legal labyrinth, Amanda found herself entangled in a web of court hearings, lawyers' consultations, and the disapproving glances of those who once regarded her as a neighbor and friend. One evening, in the midst of the legal turmoil, Amanda received a call from her attorney, adding another layer to the mounting stress. "Amanda, Scott is pushing for a restraining order. We need to prepare for the hearing, and it won't be easy." Fear gripped Amanda's heart as the reality of the legal fallout set in. What can we do? I just want this nightmare to end. Her attorney, a voice of cautious optimism, responded, "We'll present our case, Amanda. But be prepared, it might get tougher before it gets better." The day of the restraining order hearing arrived, casting a dark shadow over Amanda's already tumultuous life. In the courtroom, as lawyers presented arguments and witnesses testified, Amanda felt the unwanted spotlight intensify. Scott, his eyes narrowed with determination, spoke during the hearing. "Your Honor, I fear for my safety. Amanda and her husband have caused irreparable harm, and I need legal protection." Amanda's attorney countered, "Your Honor, this is a misguided attempt to shift blame. There was no assault, it was a reaction to an unexpected situation." As the legal drama unfolded, Amanda found herself caught in a whirlwind of accusations and counter-arguments. The judge, tasked with unraveling the truth from the complex web of emotions, listened intently. The legal fallout, a consequence of the storm that had erupted within the confines of Amanda's seemingly perfect life, had far-reaching implications. The courtroom, once a symbol of justice, now stood as a battleground where the remnants of trust and truth were put to the test. Little did Amanda know that the legal fallout was just one chapter in the unfolding saga of her life's unraveling. As the legal fallout continued, Amanda found herself retreating into the sanctuary of solitude, seeking solace amidst the chaos that had engulfed her life. The once bustling home, now tainted by the echoes of confrontation and legal battles, became a place of reflection and emotional reckoning. One evening, as Amanda sat alone in the dimly lit living room, the weight of the situation pressed down on her shoulders. The legal battle had taken a toll on her emotional well-being, leaving her grappling with a sense of isolation and regret. In a moment of vulnerability, Andrew approached her, his voice a gentle attempt to break through the walls she had erected. "Amanda, we need to support each other through this. It's tearing us apart." Amanda, her eyes reflecting the exhaustion of the ongoing turmoil, replied, "I know, Andrew, but I can't shake the guilt. The choices I made led us here." Andrew, understanding the depth of her remorse, took a seat beside her. "We're in this together, Amanda. We'll find a way to navigate through it, but we need to communicate and face it head-on." Their conversation, though laced with the bitterness of the present circumstances, marked a tentative step towards healing the fractures in their marriage. As they discussed the legal proceedings and the impact on their family, Amanda felt a glimmer of hope amidst the shadows. In the subsequent days, Amanda turned inward, delving into the recesses of her conscience. She spent hours reflecting on the choices that had led her to this point, contemplating the ripple effect of her actions on her family and herself. One evening, she received an unexpected call from her sister, offering a lifeline of emotional support. "Amanda, you're not alone in this. We'll get through it together. But you have to be honest with yourself and those around you." Amanda, tears welling in her eyes, confessed, "I messed up, sis. I never meant for any of this to happen." Her sister, a voice of unwavering support, responded, "We all make mistakes, Amanda. The key is to learn from them and find a way to make amends." The reflections in solitude became a cathartic journey for Amanda, a process of acknowledging the gravity of her actions and finding the strength to confront the challenges that lay ahead. Little did she know that this introspective phase would set the stage for the next chapter in her quest for redemption and healing. In the wake of solitude and reflection, Amanda emerged from the shadows of her own making, determined to forge a path towards redemption and new beginnings. The once tumultuous home now echoed with tentative steps towards healing, as Amanda and Andrew navigated the complex terrain of rebuilding their shattered marriage. One evening, as they sat together in the living room, the air heavy with unspoken apologies, Amanda broke the silence. Andrew, I can't change the past, but I want to make amends. Can we find a way to move forward? Andrew, his eyes reflecting a mix of caution and hope, responded, Amanda, it won't be easy. But if we're willing to work through it together, maybe we can rebuild what we had. Their dialogue marked a pivotal moment in the journey towards new beginnings. As they delved into honest conversations about their feelings, fears, and the road ahead, the walls that had divided them began to crumble. In the days that followed, Amanda took proactive steps to address the legal fallout. She attended court-mandated counseling sessions, aiming to demonstrate her commitment to change and growth. The unwanted spotlight gradually dimmed as the focus shifted from the sensationalized drama to the earnest efforts of a couple striving to heal. Amanda's interactions with Scott became more controlled as legal boundaries defined their contact. In one of their court-mandated sessions, Amanda spoke with a newfound clarity. Scott, what happened between us was a mistake. I'm committed to my family, and I need you to respect that. Scott, seemingly understanding the gravity of the situation, responded, Amanda, I never wanted things to escalate like this. Let's find a way to move on separately. The courtroom, once a battleground, now became a space for closure. Amanda and Andrew finalized the legal proceedings with a sense of relief and a shared commitment to rebuilding their lives. As the dust settled, Amanda took a bold step towards independence. She decided to explore new opportunities, both personally and professionally. The once confining walls of her past choices expanded to embrace the possibilities of a brighter future. One evening, Amanda gathered the courage to have a heart-to-heart conversation with her children. Mom and Dad made mistakes, but we love you both more than anything. We're going to work through this together. Her daughter, wise beyond her years, responded, We know, Mom. Everyone messes up. What matters is how you fix it. The dialogue with her children served as a poignant reminder of the resilience embedded in family bonds. Amanda, fueled by a newfound sense of purpose, embarked on the journey of rebuilding trust and creating a stable home for her children. The final pages of the tumultuous chapter in Amanda's life turned, revealing a narrative of resilience, redemption, and the enduring power of love. The shadows of the past gave way to the dawn of new beginnings, and Amanda, with Andrew and their children by her side, faced the uncertain future with a spirit tempered by the lessons of the past.